Welcome in everyone to your weekly tarot and oracle card reading. We also hit on a little bit of the astrology that's going on for the week. And we have, for those of you that watch my videos, we have Jupiter, my youngest cat. He sometimes appears in videos and takes over. Oh boy. But you know what? Jupiter is, we've come to know this on the channel. When Jupiter shows up, it's a sign of good luck. So I'm going to try and just move him a little bit over so he can still be a part. But all right, so we are here. This is the week starting technically January 20th here where I'm at in the United States. But I just wanted to hit a little bit on the end. I'm actually recording this on the 19th. And I'm going to start the astrology out with today because we have some stuff happening today that's impacting kind of moving into the week. I might have kind of tapped it in last week's reading at the end of just like, you know, this is happening on the 19th, but I wanted to bring it up again just to, because this is impacting the week going forward. So this is from Monday to Sunday. Excuse me. This is a collective reading. So really I just call upon my higher guides and I tap into the collective consciousness to get any guidance or messages in general with the energies, and how it comes through is what can help the most of you. What is it that everyone needs to be aware of this week to help you navigate the week, give you some perspective, awareness. Jupiter, what are you doing, buddy? Let's sit right here. All right. I also wanted to call out, I did get a couple new stones I wanted. I talked about it in a reading back in December. Just talking about different stones that are good to have as a base. If you're looking for, you know, if you're new to stones and don't know what crystals to have. So in the middle I have this, it's a quartz, clear quartz, but this is actually specifically an Arkansas quartz. So this is from the state here in the U.S., Arkansas, if you're not from the States. I kind of talk because potentially I have people from all over the world watching, but we have this amazing find that I did get in Arkansas. So clear quartz is another basic stone that, you know, again, should be part of your base collection. It's kind of the be-all end-all stone. It definitely is positive energy, clears other energies. So I usually have this in a lot of my readings. And then I have this pyrite, which I recently got. And I realized that even though I have a good amount of stones, I didn't have like a substantial piece of pyrite. I don't even know if I have a small piece of pyrite. I'll have to go back and look. But this I got a really good deal on, and I just... stones have been coming back to me lately. Like I've just been like, they've fallen in just in front of me. I've been feeling more inclined to use my stones more. So I feel like something's going on with the energies that... we're being called to the stones again, and there's a reason that we need them at any given point. If you're specifically drawn to one or if you come across one, there's a reason. But pyrite is another amazing stone. This, obviously, as it looks like gold, this symbolizes and is metaphysical properties align with wealth, abundance, and good luck, just like Jupiter here. So it attracts wealth, abundance, and good luck. So definitely one to have around you. And yeah, it's an amazing one. And then the other one that's interesting that I just came across this week as well. And it's interesting that I was drawn to this one. And then when I looked at the metaphysical properties, it was kind of spot on. And this one is called Aragonite. It's kind of a different one. This is probably one you might not have hear a lot about. Again, this is going to be more of your specialty ones. So I would say most people who have a base, who aren't really deep into crystals, may have this one. But I think this is an amazing stone. And it was interesting because I went to this, I didn't even plan on going to the stone shop, but like literally as we were driving, I was with my mom. She's like, I really have been feeling drawn to find a crystal shop and wanting to go in one. And literally, I'm not kidding you, she Googled at that minute. And as we were driving, there was literally a crystal shop like right in front of us. So we thought that was pretty, that was a synchronicity. So we went in, and this was the one. It had a lot of stones in there, but this one, literally I was drawn to. And when I looked up the properties, I was like, yes, I need this. And I wasn't planning on getting anything. But aragonite is a stone that is known to bring benefits of stability, grounding, peace, and protection at the same time. It's kind of associated with the crown and root chakras and helps to connect the chakras. So it is a real stabilizing stone. There was something else. It's a very nurturing stone as well. So if you feel like you need support and more nurturing energy, it can help uplift you. And can also, if you're going through stress or like feeling a lack of freedom in some sense, it will help with that and bring clarity. And I have Jupiter moving the camera here. So I've been adding this to the videos lately, just this week. So I wanted to call out those crystals. I've been feeling drawn to talk to you guys about these. So there's obviously a reason. I always do what I intuitively am drawn to. So hopefully that helps. And let's see, Jupiter might be moving. So sorry about all the camera moves and the cat, but all right. So next topic here. So as far as the astrology this week, there's just a couple things I want to tap on. Last week was pretty full on. If you've made it out of last week, good for you. I barely made it out. That was an intense week. Probably the most intense I've had for a while. It was stressful. It was triggering. Definitely a lot of, for me specifically, that's what I called out. If you go back to the reading from last week, check it out if you didn't, and watch through the astrology at the beginning, because everything I said was spot on for me and also for everyone around me that I talked to. There was a lot of triggering of anger and emotions, and just like people were not at their best last week, which triggered a lot of people and myself. So yeah, it was intense. So I'm kind of using this weekend to kind of rest and rejuvenate and just kind of like heal from that last week. So today, I wanted to call out the 19th. So a few things here. We have Mercury in Capricorn right now, which is sextiling. So as of today, Mercury, which is in Capricorn, I'm going to describe this, is sextiling Saturn, which is in Venus. So this is happening today. So this is going to kind of start the week off with that energy, especially Mercury, which is Gemini. It's about communication. And so it's a good time to focus on tasks that require mental sharpness. Again, when you have Mercury and Capricorn together, that's kind of going to bring you more into the mind, but also bring about some sharpness. if you need to do any tasks that are more logical or need to have you focus, this is definitely a good time to do that. The energies are going to support that. It also is inspiring conversations about plans or goals, so that may come up for you within your relationships, or even with yourself if you're just like, hey, I want to really focus in on actually setting some plans up for this year. If that's a lot of times, right? We come into the new year like, okay, what do I want to do this year? What do I want to plan? And maybe it's really that time to start actively, sitting down and planning them out. Also, on the 19th, the sun enters Aquarius. So we are now in Aquarius season. So for you Aquarians out there, happy birthday. Welcome to your month, your few weeks. The big thing that's happening this Aquarian season, so it starts on the 19th and it runs through the middle of February. This Aquarian season will be like no other that you've ever experienced in your lifetime, or any of us has experienced, due to the other facet of this, which is Pluto also being in Aquarius. So you have the sun and Pluto in Aquarius. So starting this week, you're really going to become aware of things, for one, because of that Plutonian energy, of things that need to go, that things that just aren't working for you, that aren't supporting you in your life, that just, again, you're not aligning with anymore. They're really going to be put in front of your face. So you might have already that's been coming up for you, but you're going to start almost, you can't tolerate it anymore. This has been a theme literally since the end of last year. I feel like I've been talking about this since, really almost the beginning of summer. But more or less that came about more at the end of summer, where it's like, okay, the beginning of like the spring and summer last year, we started to really feel the uncomfortability about things in our life that weren't aligning with. They were starting to really come up to the surface. But it almost took us a few months to really get to the point of like having clarity about like, what is this I'm really feeling? Not taking action, but really more like going internal about it, assessing it. And then the last couple months of the year were really about like, again, moving into like very clear ideas. A lot of people started to take action at the end of last year. But this year now, the beginning of the year is really going to be everyone who's aware, right? Not everyone is going to align with this, but it's really going to start taking effect where people are going to start taking action. Also, what's opening up for us, a lot of the, like, us not taking action yet or making decisions was about, because there's a lot of confusion still, or unclear, there wasn't clarity around the next steps, or what's the future look like, or where am I going? And that's really going to start opening up for you with that Aquarian energy, very intense. So you're going to start to see like more of the picture of the future opening up, which is also going to help motivate you and push you to like take actions finally. And we also have in February Mars, which currently is in retrograde, going direct. So that's going to also be like a turbocharge to help move things forward. So that's a big one. Then on the 23rd of January, Mercury, which is in Capricorn, is opposing Mars retrograde in Cancer. So this, again, like last week, is going to bring some tensions are going to arise. There's going to be some uncomfortable energy, and definitely could cause some misunderstandings or just cause a lot of triggering. So just be aware of that day. Because of that Mercury in opposition, again, Cancer is that emotional aspect where Mercury, which is ruled by Gemini, is more in the mind, right? So that can be some clashing. That can be about, hey, how do I explain my emotions? How do I communicate my emotions? And definitely with that opposition, you could have a hard time doing that. You could not being able to relay what you're really feeling. So there's going to almost be a little bit of, how you're portraying yourself isn't how you really feel, or there's, again, a disconnect there. And then finally, the last thing I wanted to call out before I dive into the reading is January 25th. And again, these are all in, dates are aligned with North America. So if you're in another part of the world, it could be, depending, I guess more than likely it's probably going to be the day ahead. So you can add on a day there. But Venus, which is in Pisces, trines Mars retrograde in Pisces that day. So this is going to really heighten your passions, your empathy, again, dive into your emotional body. Pisces is really about diving into your true desires and diving really deep, right into the depths of your heart and soul. So you're going to really feel like these desires. So if your desires in your life are not being met, that's also going to come up. So, but this is giving us an opportunity to really tap into them and take some action on them, or just, again, how can we how do our desires, because our desires are kind of almost like the compass to help guide us towards things that align with us. And then also Mercury in Capricorn sextiles Neptune in Uranus. So, sextiles Neptune and Uranus. So this is unexpected breakthroughs. Uranus energy is really about surprises, breakthroughs, like things coming out of the blue. So it'll be interesting to see what happens around that day. I'm kind of interested for that energy, I guess. I'm interested to see how Aquarian season goes, and also on the 25th, that Uranus aspect in there. So that gives us a little, again, overview of what's happening astrologically, energetically. So now I'm going to pull some cards for the week. Again, this is a general reading, so it's for the collective. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I'll pull a couple oracle cards as usual. We'll kind of see the basis of the week. So the first card out is Purity. There's kind of been a lot about that purification. That's been coming up a lot in the February zodiac readings, adventures, and community. So definitely, it could be a week, like I said, if you've been wanting to go on a trip or some adventure, and you haven't really planned it out or kind of figured out how this is happening, this is definitely a week that's going to align. There's something around adventures. So to me, it could be a trip or just doing something. And maybe maybe there's a yearning being pulled of what's motivating you to a certain place or event. Could be around connecting with people. What is this community bringing me? You could be looking at, one of those group trips or something, but there's definitely something about this adventure will lead you to maybe connecting with more people as well. I actually don't have, of course, I don't have the deck here. I was going to maybe read this Purity one, but I do feel like there's this sense of, like I said, this theme of purification and just really getting down to the depths of your heart and soul, to the root of things, and really using that and honing in on what is our true desires, and leading with that, right? That's your compass. Like I said, that's what can lead you to really diving into where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Who do I want to spend it with? So something, that's definitely going to be a theme this week. And if there's something around, hitting that breakthrough and that point of saying, you know what, I'm tired. I don't have anyone around me that I can really connect with on the level I want. These connections aren't fueling me. This is, and again, the visions of what do you see in 2025 or moving beyond? What are the things you actually want to start creating in your life and doing? And that's where this really coming from that sense of purity, like really going to your real higher consciousness, your soul essence to guide you. And it's like wanting to break free of a life or something that hasn't been aligning with your true desires. So let's pull some tarot cards. I got the Light Seers Tarot. Just want to show you, I have the box here if you're interested. This is the mini deck. This mini deck also has, which I loved, the green foil on the edges. There is some other Light Seers decks out there that don't have that, so I just look for that. All right, underneath we have the Three of Wands. There again is that kind of waiting. There's this sense of like, it's almost like you sense a change in the wind or something's coming, or like you're yearning to get out there, right? But I don't think action hasn't happened yet, or things have really come in yet. And that's that Three of Wands energy. The Devil, Eight of Pentacles, Five of Swords, Ten of Pentacles. I'm going to pull the Page, and then we have the Two. Okay, great. And then the Chariots, and I have to do it. Nine of Cups. So definitely there's a wish or desire that you've really put out into the universe. And now it's coming to you. So the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands, if you've listened to my channel or videos before, I've kind of explained this when it comes to tarot. Like for me, I've learned this, other tarot readers also read like this. But when I see the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands together in the same spread, I mean, the Two of Wands is really about like putting out a wish, putting out what you want. And then the Three of Wands is like finally receiving it. So you're actually now manifesting it in. So it's almost like, you know, you're waiting, but all of a sudden it's like now you see the path ahead. Now you see what's coming in. You know where you're headed. And I like that because I think I called that out too with the astrology, which is right in alignment here. And I think for a long time there was some karmic situation that has kind of held you back. This could also be just like sometimes karma, if it's like karmic relationships or just karma in general, sometimes like it's part of our, I almost want to call it destiny or our soul's purpose, that we have to play this karma all the way through, or there's some divine timing aspect to it that there's almost nothing you can do but just like surrender to the situation you're in and trust that eventually it'll play itself out. And I feel like that what's happening here under the surface is some karmic situation that you've kind of been in that's kind of restricted you. I feel that restrictive energy. So for some of you, you've been really doing some inner work or doing work to help get yourself out of this karmic situation. This could be about like the ties that bind us to ancestral karma, family karma dynamics, family wounding and trauma that you've been doing work around. For some of you, this could specifically be talking about like more around work and money and kind of your belief system around that, or just again, being tied to this, you know, maybe it's the hamster wheel, like the corporate hamster wheel. And it's like it feels like a karmic job that you've been in and wanting to get out of it. I do feel like you're almost playing, there's a lot of mental torment with this, overthinking. I definitely feel like you're getting to a point where you're just like, I can't deal with a situation anymore, or I want to change. Especially in this deck, how the Five of Swords, the art on here, it's a little different than like a normal like Rider-Waite tarot deck or something. If you, just as a little tip, if you are trying to learn tarot, I would definitely recommend getting a Rider-Waite deck first, because that's really going to give you the traditional art that really helps visualize and helps you learn the tarot cards before you get like these other fancy decks where the pictures are different. But anyways, going off on a tangent, the Five of Swords here. So I do feel this sense of really, in your head about this for some time. There's stress around this, I'm feeling. There is some sort of, though, like messages wanting that like your higher self or your guides or someone. There's some information coming in, and I do feel like either it's overwhelming for you, and if it's contradicting the normal messages you're getting from the external world for some of you that are just kind of starting to awaken or expand. This could be conflicting, right? Which can cause the overthinking. For some of you, this could be other people in your life that are getting in your head, getting in your ear, that, again, there's confliction to what's really your true desire for something or what you really want to do. And if you've been someone who doesn't want to be different than everyone or wants to align with expectations, and whether it's in your culture or society, this can be difficult to expand out of that, because people might not all agree with what you're doing. But there's definitely something here about money. This could be breaking free of beliefs, or especially around money or work, or just your family, right? Family traditional ideas, beliefs, programming, dogmas. But there's a lesson here around this, and I feel like the lesson is starting to become very clear for you this week. There's something that really maybe potentially is downloads, or like an aha of like, you're seeing the ties that have binded you and that have caused you a lot of suffering, and you're breaking free of this. And definitely something's coming in, I think, positive, that you've been wanting to come in or change, and you're seeing this now as a potential. And maybe this is even like planning this thing or trip that you've really been wanting to, and there's an opportunity to do that, or you're just taking the lead to really say, no, I'm going to do this, even though potentially there's things that are like money, that you're like, well, I don't know if I can afford it, but you're going to get the support for this. But energies are really moving forward after this week, and you're really experiencing a lot more things that, like I said, align with what you really desire. Okay, so that's a theme. That's a theme starting this week, but I also feel this has been a theme moving into February, the end of January, February, is us really, just as a collective, really diving into our true desires. And I feel like for a lot of the population, we've been programmed as children to disconnect from our needs and our desires because it didn't align with what our parents wanted or thought, or again, religions, or just people in general, like if we're people pleasers, for one example. But I feel like we're really opening up again to our authentic truth, our true needs and desires, and actually realizing like, no, it is not a life worth lived if I'm not really doing things that fill me, that align with like my dreams and desires, which, like I said, are our soul's compass in this experience. And that's why we're here, is to experience those things. So if anyone's telling you otherwise, or if there's a church or anything telling you otherwise, again, I think that's been a source of suffering for you. And it's like you're starting to be more aware of this. And even if you have been, I still think really deep unconsciously, there's still some beliefs and programs working that you're still working on really integrating those, because there is some sort of tie that is still binding you and impacting your external experience. All right. A lot going on under the surface for this week, but let's keep going. The Hierophant, that's been coming out a lot. So again, going back to the traditional hierarchy of how do we live, what are the rules we follow, religions, the Ace of Pentacles, but yeah, a new opportunity opening up. So this could, again, it seems like the big message here is really getting really deep. We're taking the layers of the onion back, that is us, and facing all these beliefs and ideas that we've been programmed with from childhood. And these could even be things that are connecting us to other life, like other alternate lifetimes, which for some of you, you may refer to it as past lives. But I've been learning more and seeing more of my connection to these, and they're more alternate lives that are happening all at the same time, since really there's no space and time outside of this physical reality. But we're connected to these and they could still be impacting us. So this period of time is opening up more of a gateway to connect to those, to see why am I still in like this loop or in these old beliefs. If there's a fear of commitment in general, you know, again, that might be something you're dealing with. But this sense of really there's this sense of those things have been overpowering you and kind of controlling how you think, how you act, the decisions you make, even your relationships, who you hang out with. And I think there's this overcoming this. And look at what just came out. We have the Ten of Cups. All right, there's a little interruption there. Sorry, my phone rang. Let's keep going here. So, like I said, the Ten of Cups flew out. So, these beliefs or karmic ties that have binded you have really been preventing you from this Ten of Cups. Queen of Swords. Five of Wands. Lots of confliction here. Yeah, Two of Swords. A lot of internal confliction going on. And this might have been something you've always dealt with since you were a child. Always feeling conflicted by what your internal intuition was telling you, or your higher self. The messages that you felt intuitively, innately, than to what was really being told to you externally and what you were experiencing. So that might have, created a lot of internal confliction, which has maybe caused you to be more, again, in your head, maybe caused some anxiety. But like there's this, I like that Queen of Swords energy coming in, because that's really finding some clarity around this. It's like once you really become aware of what's really going on and what's not true, and really say, no, I'm, because the Queen of Swords is really aligned with her truth, and no one's going to tell her what her truth is. So I feel like there's this new energy. You're kind of finding the strength and courage to stand up to others as well. Stand up. That could be your family or just people in general. This, and I just got this too. It could be even like structures in organizations, that it could be work related, companies you work for, that I've been seeing this too. There's been a lot of shifts in the external world in general. We're seeing a lot of shift in company cultures, organizations, and structures. And we're really starting to discern and see the truth. It's like the veil's being lifted around a lot of things, governments, organizations, structures, and really seeing through something that really was distorted, potentially lying to us, taking advantage of us. And we're really like seeing this, they're really fighting right now. The structures are fighting to maintain themselves as they were and stay in this traditional way, because the way they've been running for this long, it's been, an advantage for them. They've been making money off us, it works. And there's a lot of people in power that, again, it's been a huge benefit for them to lie, to manipulate people, to steal from people, to make us agree to the hamster wheel, for us to buy their products. Like it runs the gamut, and that really is coming out here. So to me, like discernment is really opening up within the people. I'm seeing this here. And there's going to be a lot of conflict. So this is going to play out within and without. And this is something, I just did another reading about this, but we have to be very discerning of what our energy, what's our energy, or what's something of ours, whether it's baggage or emotions we're feeling or stress, or is this something for other people's in our environment or externally. So we really got to protect ourselves right now, because there's going to be a lot going on with conflict and chaos in the world. And we can't keep internalizing this, making it personal, taking it on, especially the spiritual community out there, or people that are awakened, especially that you all watching my videos, obviously you align, probably are very empathetic, want to help, are loving, compassionate. And those type of people tend to, like, again, take on the energies. And it really impacts us. So that's really a message that's coming out strong here. And we're really blind to it, and we're feeling stuck, because we're feeling stuck between our families, our friends, people and their viewpoints and what we truly believe, and maybe us not fully wanting to express how we feel about things, because of we're conflict avoidant. We don't want to start fights. We don't want to piss people off or trigger people. But we're also moving into a new age, especially with the age of Aquarius, as of the energies wanting all of us not to align with the same view, but to think of the collective and what's best for the collective, not always thinking about what's best, like for me and what my ideas are. Obviously, when we align with our truth and our authenticity, there is something about that. But to me, the more you align with your truth, the more you're accepting of other people's truths, even if it isn't the same as yours. So that's key, okay? So you might hear different messages that don't make sense. Like I just said, Aquarian energy is more expansive. It's more looking at the collective. It's more looking at the group. And you may be like, but Ami, your messages really talk about figuring out my truth and standing up for my truth. And that is true. But again, as you spiritually align, okay, you don't have that reactivity. You don't have that triggering as much, because you understand and have the awareness what is happening with other people, and you don't let their views differ get in the way of you living your life, and again, you taking on their energy, especially if they're expressing themselves very negatively or aggressively, or trying to hurt other people or target other people. Again, everyone has the right to express how they feel and their ideas. And if they're just expressing ideas, again, that's okay. And everyone is deserving to do that. So, and just because they don't align with you, that's okay too. And we need to be more inclusive of understanding that. I'm just going to get 3 more here. I know this is a long one. We'll wrap it up. 8 of Wands. Yes, definitely around how we communicate. Yep. And like how we offer ourselves up to people, the energy, the emotion, the connection that people are opening up to each other is like, how is this being represented? Is this coming from a place of like my truth, my heart, or is this coming from a place of manipulation or fear? In the 8 of Swords. Yeah, the 2 of Swords, 8 of Swords. So people are feeling very stuck and restricted right now, especially as the external environment with governments and changes going on. A lot of people are going to feel like backed into a corner around things. So just be aware of that. It's about offering love and support for people. And there may be people around us that aren't receptive to this. They're very stuck internally. I do think a lot of people right now are going through a lot of chaos and conflict. So if you are dealing with people that are triggering you, you know, something to be aware of is we're all dealing with our own demons and our own traumas. So there's something about having that higher awareness and how we communicate with each other. There could also be, more specifically for some of you, again, the Eight of Wands can be about travel or trip with the adventures and the community here. I do feel like a big message here is about getting out of your normal comfortable space. So whether that's expanding your reach, expanding your connections, but also I feel like physically getting out of maybe like traveling, going somewhere, getting out. And again, there's something about doing that. But in a broader sense, there's a lot of chaos and conflict going on, and we need to be really discerning right now, and also not attacking people or getting on people if they're not showing up as their best self right now. There's definitely, everyone's going through something right now to help. There's this idea of purity, of purification happening for everyone. All right, good stuff. Big stuff. We went pretty big today. But again, this is the collective reading, so we're tapping into everything and everyone. So I will leave you with that, everyone. Definitely like the video if that hit home or resonated with you. Share if you think this would be helpful for anyone. And don't forget to subscribe. There's a lot of people that watch my videos that are not subscribing. So I just wanted to call that out. Appreciate the subscription. You know, it really doesn't hurt to subscribe, but also it's nice because, you know, I do the same thing. I'll sit and watch someone for a long time and just never subscribe until I just like feel it, like, okay, I'm doing it now. And maybe it's because I'm like waiting to watch to see, okay, is this worth subscribing to? But then I like that I can see them on my feed. And also today we need to say farewell to TikTok in the United States. The government finally shut that down, so we might have a lot of new viewers come over to YouTube and Instagram and other social media. So welcome in if you're coming over from TikTok. So, all right, everyone, have a good rest of your day. Have a good week, and I will see you in the next reading.